Hi, puppy owners. Okay. Saturday was a little bit chaos, lots of dogs playing, so we couldn't get to everything why and how dogs learn. So dogs learn via, like we said, via association and consequence. The association is always a positive, negative, neutral response. So, and the consequence, if I say to a human child example, if you do your homework, you can get an ice cream by the end of the week. It doesn't work like that with dogs. So with a dog, they can't understand. It's beyond their ability to connect. So dogs, it needs to be immediate. So if I do a timeout, immediate. If I need to do a reprimand, hands, I'm chewing on the couch. What? No, Gabby, shush. Like I would slap my hands or something. It needs to be immediate while they're chewing. So the same with, if our humans example, if you would say, oh, I've met Lindy for the first time, but I wasn't in a good mood. She was maybe swearing too much. Like, I do know you can't steal my treat bag, love. Dog stealing my treat bag. Thank you. So you would say, but listen, I'm going to give Lindy another chance because that's what our humans do. So the dog example, dogs lack the filter of rational thought. So they are not stubborn, they're not malicious, and they're constantly forming associations. So like I explained, the dog with a food bowl, we all think they can sit because food bowl comes down, it means full tummy, so bum on the floor means full tummy. It doesn't mean SIT. The funny thing about learning via association, it also works in reverse, like a newspaper. If I reprimand my dog with a newspaper, one day I'm just going to like read my newspaper on a Sunday, whatever, and I shake it and my dog runs away. Because association comes along, the association they form with the punisher. So it's not the newspaper or the rattlesnake. What some people do is picking up a glass or a tin and they put some stones in it and they shake. My dog's at the daycare, it's a plaything. So sound is not supposed to be an issue. A lot of people use newspaper, and newspapers are the worst thing to do. So I can also explain, I will always ask the people, what's your biggest fear? Mine is spiders. I'm totally irrationally afraid of spiders. So the closer you bring me to the spider, the more irrational I become. I started getting rid of my clothes. I start turning my hairs. I start screaming, and I can't focus. But if you take me by the face and you tell me, Lindy, I promise you, I'm going to take the spider away, and you move me away from the spider, I would start to actually understand and trust you. The same with the dog. So if a dog starts acting up against another dog, barking when I walk, and I say, no, I'm making the situation worse because he's fearful of something. So I always tell the people, I'm not trying to humanize a dog, but that fear you feel, trust me, your dog's feeling the same type of fear. So I try to explain the first 4 months, 80% of brain growth happens. So the first year equals about 15 years human growth. So if I take that 80 in that first 4 months, and I stimulate as much as possible. Sorry, I'm just checking out the dogs as well. And I stimulate as much as possible stimuli, and I introduce as much as possible stimuli. It's the same with human baby. The more I introduce, the better that child's going to be. The more brighter that child's going to be. Everything else is going to be. But if I keep that child in 4 walls, and I never introduce that child to other people, how is that child going to be? It's the same with a dog. So the stimuli we need to introduce is different sounds, humans, environments, different animals. Play Thunderstruck super loud in the car. Bang your pots and pans. Open an umbrella. Do anything that can possibly be a thing. Anything that you can introduce them to. Because they're going to move into their fear imprinting stage at the age of 4 months. So, secondly, a lot of people listen to Cesar Millan and they used to bear about alpha and pack theory and calm, submissive. Now, firstly, you can't put those two because a submissive dog is definitely not a calm dog. So, and then the pack theory, it's totally impossible. You can't have dogs know that we are not a dog. So there's no pack. The only time you get a pack is we get it in our painted wool and our painted dogs. We get it in our wolves, but it's a family group. So there's one mating pair and the rest is family. The rest is sisters, brothers, and siblings. So they look after the new babies. If they want to breed, they break away from their pack. Now, a pack will share their food. Our dogs do not share food. So that's your first thing. First sign that your dog is not a pack. Secondly, they breed with anyone. So, and there's no alpha. There's a social understanding. There's a mutual respect. And that's where body language comes in. Like I said, dogs know perfectly well we're not a dog. Do we need to provide leadership and guidance? Yes, of course. But do we need to force that on them and force them to be submissive to us? No, never. So we wanted to talk about alone time. Alone time is really important because our puppies will not be able to focus or understand mom can come back because they lack the process of time. They don't understand 5 minutes. That's why they're happy to see you within 5 minutes. They've got no concept of time. If it's 5 minutes or 20 minutes, they're happy to see you. So alone time is important. You start with slowly. Don't put up any barriers. Firstly, give them something high value to do while you go outside. Hey! Okay, the next thing is potty training. You take your amount of weeks, you divide it by 4, and that's about the time that your puppy can hold their pee-pee. If your puppy sleeps on your bed, please remember to say on your bed, and when they get off your bed. There's no reason why your pup cannot sleep on your bed. They are more allowed to. Just remember, if I've got a large breed, I'm going to have a 38 to 45 kg dog on my bed. You can't allow, there's no privileges. Today I'm allowed on the bed, tomorrow I'm not. If I'm allowed to peep in the house now, why can I not later do it? So that's the main thing. Flea versus worms. Fleas and worms. A lot of times dogs eat cat poo, and cats groom out about 98% of their fleas. So if you do have cats in your vicinity that poo in your garden, dogs love it. Make sure you need to deworm your dog more regularly. The vets will only deworm till about 4 or 5 months when you're done, but you can continue deworming your puppy while he's under a year. His immunity is not strong enough to handle certain worms. Shape versus luring. We're going to see, I told you to teach your dog a certain reward marker, and that reward marker is going to make yes or does a equals sweetie, because it's, just hold on for me please, and we continue, we're back. Okay, so shape versus luring. If I put a sweetie in front of the nose, the dog's got actually no idea what my body is doing, and I can teach my dog to do anything. So we don't. We want to let them think. It's like me following you home. I've got an idea you stay in Pinehurst, but exactly where? I can't find it again. The same. So why positive training? Because it's lasting. If my dog does it positive training and he does it willingly, he's going to do it for the next 14 years. So I don't always have to reward. That's going to be a question. Do I always have to have sweeties with me? No. As soon as one behavior is settled. But the big problem is people move too quickly over from one behavior to the other. So, but Lindy told us to lie down. Don't do lie down if your dog can't sit properly. You need to do a verbal command as well as a visual command. So rather move slower than faster. Growth plates. Please, while spaying and neutering needs to be later on in life, because there's lots of proof that went along that spaying or neutering puppies actually interferes with growth hormones. Firstly, one big thing, if you spay a bitch, she's not going to shed her hair, because after each heat she sheds her full coat, so the coat will just continue getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. So that's a big thing. Growth plates is a big thing, because we're talking about our large breed dogs starting to close only at 18 months. The pelvic muscle, the pelvic growth plate closes at 20 months. So if you start to that, there's lots of pros and cons about spaying or neuter. Understand that there is a place for it in this country. If you can keep your dog in your garden, yes, spay your dog. If you've rescued your puppy from a rescue organization, please tell him, please, can we do it later? Rather do it closer to a year than at 6 months. We quickly talked about a digging patch. Digging patch is quite important because it would get my dog to one specific patch. Like I said, please don't put too much bone meal in there. We don't want your dog's stomach pumped. Medical aid. It's a must in today's time because they can do so much for your dogs. I pay for my 3 dogs 900 and odd rand. I'm with Medipet SA and I've been with them for over 10 years. So I've never had an issue with not paying. Medical aid works because if you get certain breeds, English bulldogs, or actually all your brachy dogs, your flat-faced dogs, they've got a tendency to have soft palate. Their eyes might have cherry eyes, etc. Our large breed dogs, Labradors, Golden Retrievers, got cruciate ligaments issues. If the conformation is wrong, their cruciate will go. A cruciate will cost you now 40-odd rand. 40,000 rand, actually. So collars versus leads. Remember, a collar is great, but a harness is great, but that's a plaster. At the end, we want our dog to be able to walk on a collar without pulling. So it's always a slack lead. Our puppy's got 4 legs, so don't pick them up too much. Remember, they do have 4 legs. The way to bond with your dog is sleeping with your dog and training with your dog. Not so much playing. Remember, play everything with rules. Tugging with rules. Straight tugging now, they don't have their permanent teeth yet, so they need to have their milk teeth, and they need the milk teeth is keeping space for all the other teeth. So if you do tug, really tug straight with the body. Do not shake now, because you can hurt your dog's neck vertebra. So please, not that at the moment. If your puppy shakes, rather drop the toy. It's no fun tugging by myself. Correct nutrition, really important. I'm not going to say, even though we're a Hills puppy school, if you can't afford Hills and you feed whatever, just make sure that the first ingredient is a protein. If the first ingredient is not a protein, you need to add protein. So if your first ingredient is a corn, a cereal, maize, any of those things, you need to add a protein, because that means your dog is not getting the correct nutrition. They are omnivores, not herbivores. So we need more. It's actually about 60-40 equals, because protein makes brain growth as well as muscle and ligaments, etc. So we did cover the reward marker. So it is either yes, sweetie, yes, sweetie, yes, sweetie. And the next thing is, then we do their name. So the name would be Lindy, yes, sweetie. Lindy, yes, sweetie. And then you need to feed your dog. Do it in the mornings, do it in the afternoons, make yourself a cup of coffee, sit flat on the floor in the kitchen and feed your dog. Do the training. You're going to have more impact with small time periods than anything else. Please, I want you to work on their name. And there's your homework. Firstly, we talked about you need to go. And secondly, I want you to find out, where does my dog come from? Don't tell me my dog came from Kuils River. Like this one client told me, no, my dog came from Kuils River. Great. I want to know which breeds created my breed. So I've got a Labrador. A Labrador was created by a Newfoundland and a water dog that's been extinct from Canada, not from England. So I know there's no Labradors in the class, so that's why I can tell you that. So I want you to break up, why was my dog bred? Which dogs created my dog? Because that would give you a better understanding why my dog acts the way he acts and why he does certain things. Because we're going to cover motor patterns this coming weekend. So great. If there's any questions, please feel free to send me a WhatsApp. Remember, start rewarding the good, ignoring the bad. Dogs do what works for me. And we're not going to jump. Have a great day. See you on Saturday. Bye.